YouTubers, friends, and family from around the world. This is Mike with Morning Dew Daily Events Worldwide. We're on September 25th, 2019. Welcome to another surviving day on this planet. Welcome to the Daily Dew. Starting out here looking at the sun. Huge coronal hole that is Earth facing right now. And we've already saw a small increase in the solar wind speeds overnight. They peaked to just about 500 kilometers per second. But this is the most activity that we've seen in the last little while, as I've been talking about, is coronal holes. Still no sunspots to talk about. Watching a small spot in the southern region there seems to be firing up. But definitely we'll be receiving, we already are receiving the solar wind speeds from the last coronal hole that was Earth facing. So expect this one 24 to 36 hours from now. Looking here, latest wind speed recorded 440 kilometers per second. And density has dropped off and spiked a little bit in the past 2 hours. That's the real-time solar data. Let's look at the last 24 hours for earthquakes. Most recent, just recorded now, a very deep earthquake, Fiji again. So watch for a larger, shallower earthquake to follow. 4.9 at a 545 kilometer depth. And there was an even deeper one overnight last night, 589 kilometer depth. And then overnight we had the large 6.2, the African Indian Plate. Here we have a 2.7 that was recorded in Australia. And then some minor 4s moving up through Indonesia and into the Philippines. 4.4, 4.9. And then a couple 4s as well in Japan, moving up into the Alaskan Aleutian Island Cascadia fault line. So some minor there in Alaska, and some minor earthquakes as well. San Andreas still. But I'd call that an earthquake swarm. This is the last 24 hours for earthquakes, so I would call that a swarm. Still watching many aftershocks in Puerto Rico. Largest of a 4.8 over the past 24 hours. 4.7 there in Peru. 4.8 here in the Bristol Islands region. Michael volcano. And then here, 6.1 recorded, Southwest Indian Ridge. And we've seen some pretty sizable aftershocks, 5.1, 5, and a 4.9, all at a pretty shallow depth though. Thoughts and prayers going out to everyone that was affected throughout India, as that 5.6 struck. Many reports of injuries and damage to buildings. Let's look at the last 7 days for earthquakes. Still watching a deep earthquake movement happening now across all plate lines. Watching an earthquake swarm, the Dominican, a swarm in Alaska. Watching that quiet zone in North America. Most recently, a lot of movement on the Eurasia plate line and African Indian plate. Albania, large earthquake this week. And just now that large 5.7 in India. So that was the last 7 days for earthquakes. Stay aware and prepared, because we could still be awaiting a large earthquake on the Cascadia fault line. All my friends and family in BC, and as well Western United States, just stay aware, prepared, have a plan, be ready. because this subduction zone is well overdue. That's all I can say. It's well overdue. We're due for a larger earthquake, something that we've never seen before. Let's get to weather. Overlooking the Atlantic Ocean, I've been talking about the strange Atlantic patterns and these deep lower level troughs of the hurricanes and tropical depressions. And these storms are lasting a lot longer than they used to. Tropical Storm Jerry is now 13 or 14 days old. Overlooking the total precipitable water, you can really see that the equatorial moisture is starting to stretch out across the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere. You can see it's like octopus arms. When you see it looking from the southern hemisphere, it's encompassing our planet, these atmospheric rivers. Watching here over India, because there could be a pretty sizable tropical cyclone developing in the next 2 days. Going to be keeping an eye on this situation, as well in the West Pacific, heading towards the Philippines. Possible typhoon development. And across the East Pacific, Tropical Storm Kiko is still heading north. And then the Atlantic, Tropical Storm Lorenzo is going to be a big storm and is going to last a long time and might even make it to the United Kingdom, just like the last few tropical storms that formed in the Atlantic were supposed to hit the States, and they ended up hitting the United Kingdom as a downgraded storm, but still the same low pressure system. I want to thank everybody for joining Morning Dew Daily Events Worldwide. Subscribers now in 150 countries. Thank you so much for joining. This is brought to you by meteoearth and meteomike. Looking at the 5-day forecast, and quickly here we're going to see some snow and some really cool temperatures moving into Alberta. Higher elevations through the foothills and further south of Calgary is going to be the heavy amounts of snow. Calgary probably get about 10 to 15 centimeters. All depends on the upsloping snows from the high pressure ridge in the north. But watching across Canada right now, we're a large low pressure system in the Hudson's Bay, and that is really going to change our weather patterns across the northern hemisphere right now, as winter is ready to set in and we've only just begun autumn. Let's look at the 5-day forecast across the world, overlooking the Pacific there. You can see large low pressure system building later in the week, heading towards the Philippines, possibly Japan. As a typhoon, and across Indonesia right now, drying up a little bit. There is not much rain. Across Pakistan, heavy rain is starting to pick up. Africa, not forming any more storms since Lorenzo. South America, starting to get a lot more moisture, heading into seasonal change as well. Here is the 5-day forecast for Tropical Storm Lorenzo heading into the Atlantic Ocean as possibly a Category 4 hurricane. You can see it build to a large storm. Now that hurricane could be on its way to the United Kingdom, possibly making landfall in Ireland later in the week. And across the northern hemisphere, we're looking at these low pressure systems that have recently picked up speed and size, and as well picking up a lot more moisture. Large low pressure cell here moving into the Aleutian Islands off of Kamchatka. Colder temperatures really starting to prevail in Russia and as well bringing a lot of snow. Is that a sign of things to come for North America? I believe so. Watch for heavier amounts of snowfall south of Alberta here, into Montana, and even into Utah, Nevada, Colorado. So stay aware and prepared, my friends and family. And then in the United States, northwestern United States, you've got quite a winter storm ahead of you, and it's only autumn. Across the equator, we still only have 4 tropical storms. Notable here is looking in the southern hemisphere, as those low pressure systems are really starting to race around, picking up speed and size. Welcome to an early winter. We're going to go straight from summer to winter here in Alberta. But yet we're global warming. Thanks everybody for watching today. This has been Mike with Morning Dew Daily Events Worldwide. Stay aware and prepared. Stay young and have fun. And get your morning dew. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.